everybody, it's Eclipsed Wolf here. We are inside of The Sims 4. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different. Normally this would be a house building video for Saturday. But this week we're going to do a how to build video. Because I have a couple friends that are new to The Sims or want to learn how to build better. Which I could easily just be like, hey, go watch Deligracy, go watch Sim Supply, go watch Curtis Parody, because that's kind of where I got my inspiration for building videos and like learning kind of how to build and everything. Which that's one suggestion I have for learning how to build better is just watching other house building videos. You can get inspiration from them because a lot of them do commentaries for their building, so they kind of explain things as they go. For me, For me, house building videos are just something that I can just kind of sit here for hours and do and whatever and just not worry about thinking about it. They do the speed builds as well, so they just do commentary over the speed build part of it. My dumb self would forget what I built and be like, oh, this is cool. So that's why I don't really do commentary that, and it's just something that I can just record, edit, and then just upload. I don't have to worry about thinking about what to say and all of that fun stuff. And I'm just gonna have the yawns. It's 11:30 at night, I think, for me. I already tried recording this once and it didn't work, so we're gonna try it again. But to really kind of like get into building, you can do a couple different things. You can just freehand it, which by all means. I usually myself use either floor plan images from Google, or you search in the style of house you want to do. Like there's different types of house styles, which if you just do like a quick Google search, you can look up like house styles and it'll give you a list and choose one of those from the list to like kind of like look at. I usually stick to like contemporary or craftsman. Do you mind I'm recording a video, Odie? Very rarely will I do modern, but I just kind of stick to kind of like just traditional type houses and the way they look and everything. Can you not? One other way that you can build houses is it does have styled rooms. So when you first load into The Sims and you're on your lot in either build by mode or whatever, they have different rooms that you can do, and you can just place them down. Like this is here, like we could just easily attach this kitchen. So we got our kitchen here, but we're gonna pick this up. So we could put our kitchen here, and then we can attach a dining room to it. We'll attach this one. Where's the door? Can attach this dining room, and then we could attach a living room to that. And then from the living room, we can attach a bedroom. We'll do it back this way. Sure, we'll do this little cheapsy room. Attach the bedroom there. And then we could attach just a simple little bathroom. Where's the door? Okay, so the door is this side. Okay. Then we could attach a bathroom here. And then, ta-da, you've got a house. The only issue with that, though, is then you're kind of, for the most part, unless you, like, really, like, thoughtfully plan it out, you're left with kind of a weird-shaped house. So roofing could be a little bit difficult. I mean, for this one, we could easily just do the gabled roof. Can you let me grab the right pieces here? Drag it to match the width, drag it to match the length, and then now all we have to worry about are these little itty-bitsy pieces that are here. So for this one here, we can just rotate this piece and blend it into this one. For this one, we can do the same thing. And then just shrink it down a little bit. And then we can do the same thing for this one and just shrink it down a little bit. And then voila. It's a little bit awkward looking, but it's a house. Like, you know, it's not a terrible looking house, but it's one way to build. If that's kind of like your thing, like especially like if you're not super good on decorating, which if y'all want like a decorating 101 video, I can do one of those as well. So this is just kind of like a simple way to just kind of piece things together if you want it. You know, there's not really pictures or anything on the wall. There's not like a whole lot of clutter on the shelvings or the tables or anything. It's just kind of like a quick way to get into the game and have something that you kind of assembled yourself. So we're just going to go through and undo everything to where we have nothing now. So the other way is just going at it yourself. Now you have your regular wall tool, which just builds one wall at a time that you can use. You also have a room tool, and then you have a custom room tool, which I've never used this one, so I don't know how it works. Drag to draw a wall. Select the desired point on the grid in order to create desired shape. Double click to complete the desired shape. So if that's something you're interested in using, I mean, by all means, go for it. I have never used that before. These two here are your basement tools. You have just like the block, which if you go down, ta-da, you have a house. And then you also have like a triangular room. I usually don't mess with the triangle rooms. If anything, I add angles to rooms that I've built that are squares and just kind of like fix them up myself. You have a square room and then an L-shaped room, which these are handy if you don't want to do your own. And you just make them bigger by pulling the arrows, because that's how you can adjust your room shape. So like this, it's no longer really an L, you just have like a dumb little thingy here. I mean, you could drag it that way and drag it that way, and now you just have kind of like a foundation for a house now. And then you would just draw your own interior lines with the wall tool or the room tool, whatever your preference. And then we have an octagonal room. Again, not really a fan of it because making the roofs for it kind of annoying. These are just like ground coverings, I guess you could say. A lot of people use these to make roofs better. Again, like I said, like I use it mostly for roofs. I don't really use it for anything else. We also have again, I am sorry guys. The triangular deck, like these are the deck pieces down here. What's nice with The Sims 4 is they finally came out with a rounded edge. Now, it's only for fencing, but it's a step in the right direction, Sims. I applaud you, because it would be so nice to be able to do rounded edges or like rounded corners for this, like just regular walls. All we have are angles and just straight. We don't have curves for the walls yet. We need curves for everybody, man. And then you have square room diagonal and square deck diagonal, which, you know, once you start getting good, building on diagonal can be fun. It is very tricky though, so you just gotta kind of worry about that. So let's start out with a box, because you can build a decent house by starting off with a box. You don't have to just wing it like I do and just start building, you know, all willy-nilly with the wall tool. So let's start with a box. And let's put our box, say, right here. So there's a box. Now, this could be any number of rooms. But for right now, let's add another room here. So we just added another box. Now, this kind of looks awkward, but if we were to add another room here, you know, that's not too shabby. We could even drag this out just a little bit. Yeah, okay. And then we can add another room. Do you mind? I'm recording a video with your nasty coughing. I'm talking to Odie, in case y'all didn't hear him. Odie is my dog, if you've not seen any of my vlogs. So now we kind of have a cute little house. Like, we could use this for a living room. We could use this as like a separated living room, or not living room, dining room, kitchen. This could be our bedroom with our bathroom. And so from here, we can easily just go up to our roof. And we could do actually several different roof designs for this. We could do our gabled roof here, bring it back, and then we could rotate and bring it across here, stretch it out, and then bring it down. Except for we need to bring it in just a little bit, just so that we blend it, because you kind of want it to look realistic and you don't want it to be like detached or anything, unless that's something you're going for. Like, if you want a house that just is not proportionate and just absolutely crazy, then by all means. So now we've got this cute little house, but we could also just switch the orientation here and have this be the, I mean, it wouldn't really work that way, but here, let me delete the roofs actually real quick. And so to add a little bit of depth to our house, we can use this flat square, or we can even use the square deck to add a little bit of a porch to our house here. So even though this is all a square, the house itself really isn't. And when you add a roof, you can't really tell that, because you will have your roof here. We can lower it just a little bit so it's not super pointy. And then the other way that we could have styled this roof too, with just these roofs here, is just drag this all the way across. That way you have the ends meet together. But for this, we're going to put it here. So now that blends together, and you've got a little house. And it's, you know, not too bad. Again, like I said, you've got, and then, you know, just to make room for stairs, we can get rid of that. Now, if you wanted to create a foundation to add stairs to your little porch, you just take this little, you click on any room. I mean, you could even click on the porch, and you just use this tool right here in the middle, and it's going to raise your foundation. So that's a little ridiculous. So we're just going to lower it down quite a bit to about there. Then we're just going to go to our stair tabs here, and we'll just pick out a nice little brown stair here. And we're just going to attach it, stretch it out, and then voila, you've got some stairs. Now, as far as like railings go, like depending on what expansion packs and stuff you have, they do have a lot of just basic stuff for just the Sims 4 base game, if that's all you have right now. So let's, for this one, we'll use this. Now, you can use the replace fences, which replaces the ones that are existing like that, or they have place fence enclosure, so you can, like, it's like the room tool but for fences. So like if you wanted to make a garden or something out back and just want fence around it, you can do that. Or if you want to just draw a fence line, you can do that as well. So you could just do this, which is how I generally do it. Just, I don't know, for me it saves time, I guess. And then it's up to you if you want to add railings to your stairs. And it's just real easy. You just pick what you want, bring it over to your stairs, and then voila, you've got some railings. Now, for wall patterns, which are like your wallpapers or your siding or your rock and stone or masonry. Like for the exterior, I would recommend siding. Come on, Sims, load. Rock and stone or masonry. So for this one, let's make just like a cute little, if it wants to load here. Come on now. Let's make a cute little kind of like cottage looking thing. So we'll go with this. So I could easily just paint these one at a time like that. But if I already know that this is the color I'm going to use for the entirety of the house, if you just shift click, it'll paint the entirety of the wall. And for the interior, it'll paint the entirety of the room. But because our rooms are already set up, we have to do it kind of in sections. Now, you might have seen back here that we have this ugly little piece of awning from our roof, the eave, hanging out, and it's cropping into that. We can fix that by either just dragging this out like this, or there's a really neat trick that if you press shift and you press and hold it and then grab this little arrow key here on the corner, because this is what you use to change your eaves length. If you press and hold shift on it, it only changes that side. So see, we on the front of the house, we still have the eaves on this end. We just don't have it on this end. But see, now it looks a little funny because this side doesn't have it. So, I mean, what you could do to counteract that is just kind of bring this out this way and then lengthen this out, and then ta-da, you know, it's just a little bit longer, and, you know, you've got a nice little cutesy house. Now, as cute as this house is, there, you know, all of the walls are completely flat. Like it's just flat and kind of boring. The way to fix that is you can just add little like nooks and crannies. Like, so for the front of the house here, we could add on a bay window-esque kind of deal, and then just kind of bring this out over the edge, or we could use the roof tool of the diagonal ones, like the hexagonal or octagonal, pentagonal. Let's use the pentagonal, because hexagonal maybe. Yeah, that looks better, kind of. I guess I don't really use these that often. Ah, there we go. Okay, that looks not too shabby. So there, and then we just want to add our new wallpaper to it, and then ta-da! Now you have a little bit of depth to your house, and I think it actually looks really cute. However, when you did that, it leaves the wall behind. So you can either just use your sledgehammer tool and delete each wall singularly if you want, or you can no, that's not gonna work. So yeah, just use that way, for at least for like when you have angles. Now say you built an extra room, say you wanted another little bathroom or something like right here, and then changed your mind about it, you can either just delete it by pressing delete, but then it deletes it out of your house. So then you just have a big old gaping hole. Oh, excuse me. And then the other way to fix it is just drag, and then ta-da, it's deleted, and you still have this full intact room. But we're going to go back and make sure we delete this out of it. So now we've got this cute little house. Oops, nope, don't want to look in the basement. But we kind of still want to make it look a little bit better. So we need to add some of the tiling to the roof here that matches the wallpaper that we already put on it. Well, not really wallpaper, but y'all know what I mean. So we're going to just put on this, which is the one that kind of matches this. And we're going to put it on both of them, so that way it looks blended. This one doesn't need it because it doesn't have an end that you can see like that. And I'd say we're all good there. Now, to make the roof look a little bit fancier, you can go to roof patterns. And there's a bunch of different patterns you can use. Like this one here is just a solid color, which that, that can look nice. But then you also have ones like if you have like the island living that make it look more like a thatch kind of. Which that works for like the island houses and everything. I mean, this one does too. It looks kind of thatch like. But for this house, I'll kind of let's go for kind of like a shingled look, because it's kind of an older house maybe. Now another thing that we can do to enhance the roof is add roof trims. Roof trims go around the roof, and it kind of you can make it change different colors. So say for instance we want to kind of outline the roof a little bit more. We could use this one and make it white, so that way it kind of pops just a little bit. Or you could like I said, if you have island living, you can add the thatch type to it as well, and then it just kind of hangs over a little bit more, and it kind of blends with the thatch roof. But I kind of like this, so we're going to stick with this for right now. And, the next step is adding doors and windows. But we can also change the foundation as well. So if you come down here to where it says foundations, you have these couple different options that you can do. Some of them are really nice in the fact that you can have, like, it's just like a nice little trim around the outside. And I'm not pressing the shift key or anything. If you just select it, it'll go around and do it on the specific sections that you have for you, like that. Or like if you want it to just be kind of like flat and merge with the ground, you can just pick one and it'll be flat, and like I said, it'll merge. That way it's not like standing out like it was. So there it's completely flat, whereas the other one had a little bit of like a ledge to it. We could even go through and use like this one here that kind of blends with the wallpaper that we used. And I used the word wallpaper loosely because it wasn't really wallpaper. But there it kind of blends with the wall. So that looks kind of nice already. So let's go ahead and add our door in. Now, if you remember from our layout that we made, if I can remember how to actually play the game, this was going to be our bedroom. So the only place that we could really put a door would be on this wall here. On this wall here. Now, personally, I like things to be centered. So I would either choose a single door to fit on this middle single panel here, or get a door that would match 3. You could also even go to the lengths of getting like a modern type door. Like, if my thing will scroll fast enough. Like, I guess we could use this to where it's 2, and then get a window. Excuse the delay in the game, it's acting slow. Come on, game. Hello. Can we work, please? I deal with some of this little bit of lag in the game every now and again when I'm building on this, building houses for y'all. Y'all just can't tell because it's sped up so fast, thankfully. But like I was saying, you can use like these floor to ceiling type windows, but the only problem is that none of them actually line up with the height of these smaller doors, unfortunately. So it makes it kind of difficult to do it that way. Which, with building as well, you can also change the height of your house by clicking one of these 3 buttons here. So right now we're on the short wall. We could make our house a little bit bigger. Thank you, Sims, for working. By clicking on it that one time. Which, if we wanted to do it again, it would make it that much bigger. Which that almost kind of looks ridiculous. But for mansions and stuff, I mean, that would be totally fine. Like this kind of house, I would go with maybe the medium wall or the short wall. For this build, we're just going to go with the short wall. And so let's look for a nice door that would go really good with this kind of style of house. I mean, we could easily go with one of these. I mean, again, it's a two, like, there are some doors that they have that are centered in between two panels. But again, like I said, I like it to be centered. So let's see, what kind of a door can we have that might be 3 wide? I mean, this door is kind of nice, but it's very open. And if you can't find a door you like, I mean, it's very easy to just kind of move everything back one here. And then just do that maybe. Then you just got to make sure you remember to fix your roof, because you don't want your house to look all funny. We need to bring this one in. And then, ta-da, now you have a 4 panel instead of the 3 panel. So we could use this cute little door here. Actually, I want to use the darker one, the black one here, because it kind of blends with the little, like I said, the wallpaper stuff. So now we've got our front door, and I think it's cute. It's adorable. And then you want to work on your, I mean, I usually go with doors and then windows. Like, I have a very specific way on, like, what steps I do when building my house. Like, I'll build I'll build the frame of the house, and then I'll do the exterior walls, because then it kind of sets the format of, like, how I'm going to build the rest of it. And then I do, like, the roof, and then I do the interior stuff. Like, if y'all have been on my channel for a while, I'm sure you've seen my house building videos. You know what I'm talking about. So for the inside, we can just do kind of like simple door. So we'll just go with like the simple white door here. And then we'll do another simple white door into the bathroom there. Now for the kitchen, like dining room area, they do have a 3 wide archway, but you have to have it on the medium wall height. So I guess we can do that for this house. Bless me. That's why I was quiet for a second. My apologies. I'm just gonna leave it in there because I'm human and I sneeze, okay? Leave me alone. But we will go ahead and go into, and like the windows and the walls, they each have like the 3 heights to match the medium windows. Now they won't let you use like tall windows if you don't have the tall wall heights and everything. So it grays it out and you can't click on it. So just make sure you know which one you're using, or you can just hit all and it'll just gray out the ones that you can't use. But we're doing doors, so we're just going to scroll down to our... Now, in order to have the 3 long archway, you do have to have, I think it's just pets. So we're just going to make it a light brown color. So that way you just have a nice big archway into the kitchen dining area. And then, ta-da, we have all of our doors now. But now we need to work on our windows. For windows, I generally it just kind of depends on like the style of build I'm doing. For this one, we can kind of use these ones here because it blends pretty nicely, in my opinion. So I'd probably use those type of windows there. I mean, the only thing that I don't really like with the, like, I generally don't build on the medium or tall height builds because I like the way that the windows and doors and stuff kind of fit to the small. I mean, yeah, there are medium windows and stuff, but there's not as many as there are for like the small. I don't know. It blends better, I guess. For windows, you can either just single place them like this, or you can do it by room to where it automatically suggests where you should place it for the room. Now, generally, that's okay, but sometimes it doesn't, like for here, like on this bedroom. It's only recommending, if I can say the right word, for us to build the 2 windows here on this side, but none on this side. Which, you know, if that's the bedroom, probably not wanting to put the windows on that side would be fine. But, you know, if you had a different layout and say that was like your living room, you know, you might want the extra windows for sunshine. And sometimes for me, when I do it on the bathroom, they put like way too many windows. Like we don't need 4 windows for the bathroom. But like for the kitchen dining, that's not bad. And the windows that they have here is not bad. But for me, I would want this up to kind of match with the... It almost matches with the line here on the wallpaper stuff. Like it's close enough. So I don't want to... Oops. I don't want to go through and lift all of those back up. And let me actually put the thing back in here. So for this one, we're just going to use this archway. Maybe not. So we'll just use... We'll do that. And one key to building is there is a time and place for symmetry. So when you're building a house, like you could build like an odd shaped box or like a fancy box, whatever, by building with your main box and then adding like similar boxes like on the sides of it. To a degree that's okay, but for some builds you don't want to have perfect symmetry for every like side of the house. So it's okay that this doesn't quite line up, you know. We might be able to use like 2 extra counter space here or something, or you know, if we were to decorate it, you know, that'd be one thing. But let's go through and do our windows. Oh, we're still on the doors. My bad. Alright, so we're going to get our windows here. We're not going to do it by room. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3 windows there for kind of our bay window effect. And just for the sake of it, I'm just going to put windows there because maybe the bed is against this wall here and not this one to where you see people like watching you or something. So we could easily just put a window here and a window here. And then for the bathroom, we could put, I don't know, maybe... Let's do windows there, because we could have, like, the 2, like, countertops. One for the sink, and then one just, you know, to have towels on. And then have, like, the shower against this wall, and then, like, the toilet here. That way you're not, like, watching people while you're peeing or something. I mean, if you can see them, they can probably see you. Am I right? Now for this wall, we could easily just use like one of these bigger windows. That one doesn't quite fit with the wallpaper, but this one will. So we can easily just put that as a window if you know. And then we can do a window here and a window here. And then we can do this 3 window one here. Well, doesn't quite center up. But you know what? That's okay. Because, you know, I like to have my TVs on a wall, so maybe, or we can even add like a fireplace to this house. So we could do this here, and to add like an extra depth here for the house, we could even, and I've done this before, just add something on the side of your house, and just remove that, and then we'll just redo our shift click. The eyedropper tool up at the top is very, very handy when you're building. It's this one here next to the pointer, the selecting one. And then the next one over is your design tool, and it lets you reshade colors for most things. Some things you like for the wallpaper, you can't use the design tool on it. But if you just select it, it'll bring you to the one you had. It'll be the one highlighted in green. And then you can go from there, switch it, and change it. But now we just need to... We'll just add a little half-gabled roof here. And when I said little, I mean we will have to make it little because this spawned in ginormous. So we want it to be able to blend into our house, and we just want it a little bit. So again, just copy. See, the eyedropper tool is honestly just like copy and paste is basically what it is. And then we'll just add our little white trim to it. And then ta-da, now we have a little bit more depth on the side now. And then we'll just put a fireplace in there. But for right now, I'm actually just going to make this. Sometimes the clicking doesn't work. I'm just going to make that white just because we don't know what color we're going to do yet. Now, for the outside flooring here, I usually go with kind of either like stone or wood, because most of the time when you have like a patio, that's what it's going to be. You're not going to, more than likely, you will not have carpet on your front porch. So let's go with masonry. Let's see what we got here. We could go with like this kind of a tile here, make it kind of like a gray. And for doing flooring, you can either just drag like this. You can paint it individually, which takes forever. Or it's the same with the wallpaper. If you just shift, it'll cover what you don't have covered already. So ta-da, we got a nice little flooring for our front patio here. And low-key, I might just decorate this house like in a fast-forward thing at the end, because I actually think this is really cute. Just saying, considering I'm doing this free-handed, I think this house is very cute. So let's go through and do like wallpaper for the house. I'm trying to just make sure that I'm not forgetting anything, because I really want this to be good for y'all. So for our living room, we could go with, like, this is an older house that got refurbished. Like, you can kind of like make a story for your house when you're creating it. So like I said, like this kind of has like the older feel because of the exterior painting on it. We could continue that through by having like not so newish looking walls, I guess you could say. Like we could go with this one here that came out with City Living, to where it's got white with the baseboards, but if you look real close, it's kind of got like dirt and stuff on it, which makes it kind of look a little bit older, which would make sense if this was a house that has been lived in for a while and all of that jazz. So I'm going to actually kind of stick with that. It looks kind of nice for this. And then for the bedroom, I mean, we could go with something kind of similar here. They have this one here that's just literally got the smallest baseboard, which we could do. Let's do like this light blue for the bedroom. So again, we're kind of keeping with the older feel of it, I guess. And then for tiles, I mean, they don't really have like a worn tile, I don't think. So we'll just go with something that looks kind of on the older side. I mean, this kind of has a feel. Doesn't have to. Okay, we can use that. And then again, like if you just want to cover the whole wall, just shift and then click, and then ta-da, you've got your whole wall figured out. And then for the dining room, we could go with maybe a paneling. And let's see. One of my favorites is actually under the wallpaper. Is this one from Pets. And you guys have probably seen me use it a few times in some of my builds. But we'll use it as the blue in here. It's not worn, so maybe they updated the kitchen a little bit. You know, maybe. And then after that, I usually go for flooring because I like to have the walls covered before I do my floors. It just makes it a little bit easier to kind of distinguish what I want to do with it. So, being this an older house, more than likely it's going to have wood flooring that goes from the living room into the dining kitchen room. So let's pick out a nice flooring here. And maybe this one from Island Living. Actually, you know what? A really nice flooring that's a nice hardwood that's really nice, that goes with pretty much anything unless you have a super light colored wall, is this old world wide plank flooring. It's only got the one shade to it, but it's actually really nice. It looks really nice. It's not super glossy. It's not super bright, and it kind of lets you be able to like bring out colors. Like for this room, like we can add a lot of plants in it to make it real detailed and everything as well. And since we have the archway, it's only natural that the floors would kind of like blend into each other here. Most houses that you would go to, you don't just have like an archway and the flooring just completely change. It's very rare that that would happen. Well, not very rare, but it's just normally it's a thing that normally wouldn't happen. Now, if we wanted to, we could choose a different wood for this room, but I'm gonna go with carpet. I know a lot of people don't like carpet in their bedrooms and whatever. I don't mind it. I like it. So we could go with any one of these. I mean, we could go with this bright blue. I mean, I would be down for this like darker one because it would kind of go, almost kind of go with the floorboard maybe. I mean, we could even go with this like darker blue. The Sims even has some funky ones. We could even go with like this one from what, the university. That's the one. But I kind of like the one that we've got in here now. Now for the bathroom, I mean, we can actually lower the walls. I whenever I'm playing The Sims, like as The Sims, I always have it on this walls cutaway view up here in the top right. It just makes it that much easier to just kind of like see inside your building, but yet you can still see the walls and the windows, and like if you have decorations up on the walls and everything like that. And I do it for after I have the walls up, that way I can see how the tiles are going to match the floors. So it looks kind of like our tiles have like blue and yellow in them. So we could easily go with like this flooring here. And again, I just dragged and placed it, and you can also shift and click it, however your preference is for doing that. And I think that looks pretty nice. So, I mean, other than that, there's really like not a whole lot of like super tips and tricks. Maybe I'll just add a window there for the bathroom to kind of make it look symmetrical there. It looked a little funny. Another tip with roofing is, say you wanted this to come down just a little bit lower or just a little bit higher. If you press and hold Alt and then drag it, you can freely change the height of it instead of it just being on the mark like this is. So you can change it to pretty much any height you really wanted to, within reason, of course, within the game's like capabilities. But for this, we're just going to keep it here. But yeah, this is our cute little house. And like I said, I might just go ahead and decorate it here at the end of the video because I actually think it's really adorable. Now, to make your houses look even better without having it just be like this plain little block of house, you can do landscaping. And if you need to like see how this our house is like a little bit over here to the edge, maybe we wanted a little bit more of it this way, just go up to your move lot and house, move house, and then if you click on it, you can move your whole entire house. So say you wanted to move it back a little ways, have them have like a little bit more of like a walkway up to the house. That's a little bit too much over. You can do that, and then ta-da, you've got your house. But say you don't want it to be so boring. Let's add a tree or two in. we'll match it with what's around it. So we got like a birch tree here, and then where is it? We got quaking aspen over here, and then we got a beech tree back here, and you can just randomly place it. It really doesn't matter like where they go. I mean, you can add whatever kind of trees you want. I mean, there's this cute little hawthorn tree we can put in the backyard. I mean, heck, you could even go for like a giant weeping willow tree if you wanted to. You do want to be careful though with some trees. If you have them too close to the house, like this one's actually like in a perfect spot. But some of them, because of the graphics that The Sims has, like it'll clip through the house. So unless you don't mind that, you just be careful where you're placing it. Otherwise, like I said, you'll have a clipping in it and everything. But yeah, other than that, I mean, those are generally like just kind of like the basics of building just a simple house. Like I mentioned kind of towards the beginning of the video, if you get like a floor plan picture or just like a picture of the outside of a house, you can kind of go off of that. Make use of shapes. Add a little bit of depth like what we did for the fireplace and this front window here. Play with the roofs a little bit. I mean, you're always welcome to, if you know me personally, you're always welcome to message me. I can help you out that way. If you don't, you can always, if I can remember the login for the email for this, you can email the channel itself, which I believe is eclipsewolf93@gmail.com. I think that's what it is. You can email that there, or it'd probably actually be even easier to just go message me on Facebook, Eclipsed Wolf on Facebook. I think it's facebook.com/eclipsedwolf93. I think it was either Eclipsed Wolf or Eclipsed Wolf 93. But if you go onto there and message me on there, if you have any questions, by all means feel free to ask. But yeah, that's basically the most tips that I've got for y'all. I mean, if you have fancier houses, they have and exterior trims. They've got those which are like towards the top. Those really work like if you have 2-story houses, and then they have exterior trims again for 2-story houses. These spandrels, I don't really use them too often with my builds, but you attach them like to walls and with columns. So say you have 2 columns here, you can add a spandrel here. Those two don't really look that great together, but there's a time and a place for those. I use columns a lot, like for patios. I don't use them enough interior, and I really need to start doing it because you can do a lot of really cool things with them in interior, but I always forget about it. And then we also have like roof sculptures that you can add. So like what we could do on top of our little I want to say firehouse. It's not a firehouse. It's fireplace. We could add like a little chimney thing here. We could add like this one. Make it kind of like that if we wanted to. That's a little big though. Well, let's go with something smaller. Kind of like this one maybe. Well, that's a little too small. Maybe like I guess this. Which, I mean, one trick that it helps, if you want to scale stuff down or up, you can use the bracket keys on your keyboard. So I guess we could go back to using this one here and just scale it down one and do it that way. But I'm not really digging any of those I guess we could try to go for this one again and just scale it up one. Oh, no, that's way too large. Yeah, we can go for this. There. There. Now, it's kind of out of place a little bit. Here, if we were to move that up, it might look a little bit better. Yeah, it looks a little, can I stop grabbing that? I want to grab this. There, it looks a little bit better now. But yeah, if you use your bracket keys, you can size things up and down. Depending on what you're sizing up and down, sometimes it can make objects not work properly, like if it's a bed or something, or like something that a sim has to use. But yeah. I think that's all for this tutorial, guys. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, just message me on the channel's Facebook page, Eclipse Wolf or Eclipse Wolf 93. Like I said, I don't remember what it is. The link will be down in the description below. That way you can just copy and paste it, or if there's actually like a link, you can click on it. But yeah, I hope this helped a little bit. Hopefully you guys will show me some of your builds. And like I said, I hope this helps. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you have any suggestions or comments or questions, please comment down below as well. I'm usually pretty good about getting back to y'all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and subscribe now, as well as hit the bell icon next to it. That way you're notified every time I upload a brand new video. I'm going to go ahead and decorate this house. It'll be in a speed version in like a few seconds when I get done talking, when I shut up. So it'll be ready on the gallery by the time this video is up and running. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. The next house video will be in 2 weeks, I think, because I'm doing Sims 4 videos every other Saturday. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that one. This is kind of a mini one, but like I said, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.